So before we go any further, I want to preface the video that you're about to see by saying that I have nothing but the highest respect and regard for the men and women in uniform, both past and present. That's not what this video is about. In no way am I making any kind of disparaging remarks for those that serve. Not only that, I have a lot of family who has served as well. So aside from that, I'm also going to respectably ask that you not put in the comments who you feel is responsible for any of these wars or military operations across the world. Just try to avoid that, because we know that there are trolls out there, and we also know the type of people it tends to attract, and it serves as nothing other than to get channels shut down. I think you can kind of infer what I'm talking about. So thank you very much. Enjoy. Well, it's that time again. It's time to focus on Muslims. After all, let's reflect on the past 5 years of events that have occurred. We had the big bad Muslim, as usual, the black militant, the alt-right conspiracy shooter, remember of Pizzagate fame, and then an insane amount of allegedly white mass shooters. Heck, we even had a leftist shooter. Unfortunately for the state, we have severe ADD in this nation, a collective case of convenient amnesia. You know what I think it really is? Many of these Code 66, and I say Code 66, sixth letter of the alphabet is an F, so falso flago. I think you get what I'm saying. I doubt anyways I can avoid the algorithm, but I'm going to call it Code 66 for false flag. Code 66 are so ridiculous and sloppy, the media purposely drops coverage to prevent, I don't know, a closer look, more of an inspection. And then not only that, the algorithm takes care of the rest by preventing the sharing or dissemination of information. Another reason I tend to believe that we forget so quickly is that I think we as a nation, including citizens around the world, can't possibly keep up with all the bullshit propaganda. We have bills, mouths to feed, mortgages to pay, and workplace drama to worry about.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So getting back to the topic at hand, these media-driven propaganda campaigns run in cycles. For example, the state wants to come after gun owners or attack the Second Amendment. Statistically, a majority of registered or legal gun owners are Caucasian, or to be crude, the white man. And remember Don Lemon? Remember when he called for a ban on alt-right white men? Try saying that 5 times fast. Remember all the hysteria and fallout that ensued? Did he really mean it? All this meaningless speculation? Again, it's meant to provoke. It's meant to cause division. They are continual, applied psychological warfare tactics. But hang on, the state isn't foolish. Let's pump the brakes and remember not to beat up on the white man too much. After all, we desperately need them to supply the massive amounts of overall personnel. We need their sons and daughters to fight overseas in the many, many military operations occurring at any given time across the world. So, for example, let's take a look at the American war and military operations, casualties, lists, and statistics. Published April 26, 2017. And from a brief summary, it says this report provides U.S. war casualty statistics. It includes data tables containing the number of casualties amongst American military personnel who served in principal wars and combat operations from 1775 to present. It also includes data on those wounded in action and information such as race and ethnicity, gender, branch of service, and cause of death. So let's just take a look at the sheer amount of deaths that have occurred from all the wars from 1775. Let's look at the Revolutionary War with 4,400, War of 1812, 2,200, Mexican War, 13,000. We have the Civil War, 364,000, Spanish-American War, 2,400, World War I, 116,000, World War II, 405,000, Korean War, 36,000, Vietnam conflict, 58,000, and the Persian Gulf Wars of 1990 to 1991, 383. These are incredible numbers. Just think of all the generations that were basically ended, the genetic lines that were done. Really puts things into perspective. Let's just take a look at 2 of the major demographics contributing to the overall deaths for the Korean, Vietnam, and Persian Gulf War. Whites made up 29,000 deaths for the Korean, 49,000 deaths for the Vietnam, and 280 for the Persian Gulf War. The second largest demographic was black, 3,000 for the Korean War, 7,200 for the Vietnam War, and 63 for the Persian Gulf War. And there you have it for Operation Enduring Freedom, for example, as of April 24th, 2017. We can see the racial breakdown here, okay? And as you can see, I'm not making any other commentary other than to observe that whites, once again, made up a majority of the deaths that were indeed recorded. So here's the point I'm trying to make. Even in this Citizens YouTube page, 97,000 views. And I'm not calling out any channel in particular. You can find them on your own. What I don't understand is most of these channels are of the alt-right variety. So they shouldn't exactly be trusting anything from CNN, right? I mean, after all, these liberal institutions should be regarded with suspicion. Yet, here we see it. They come out of the woodwork. I believe, Obama, knowing they put all these Muslim traitors in these powerful positions to harm America. And then another one. Same allegations. How suspicious. He had his pawns in it. Let's see. Nothing worse than a traitor. Make sure she is than a public hanging if this is verified. Suddenly we are extremely bloodthirsty. Send special forces or drones to take her and the others out. Who are the others? Do you know? Do I know? Who are the others? The swamp is deep and wide. There are thousands of gators in the muddy waters. Nip it in the bud. Oh my God. And let's see. And the two Awan brothers sail out of sight. Let's see. Here's another one. See? And this person, just to illustrate perfectly what I'm saying, they list a bunch of liberal entertainers or news presenters, but yet they trust this particular story. Let's see. There's more. The point is, let me try and be as clear as I can possibly be. As of the year 2000, there were 7 countries left without a Rothschild-owned or controlled central bank. We see Iraq, Afghanistan, Sudan, Libya, Cuba, North Korea, and Iran. And accordingly, and you can do your own research regarding this, now there are only 3. I wonder if there's any correlation between this recent media-driven event regarding the Iranian spy and the fact that Iran is one of the last few holdouts. So in conclusion, it is definitively not the elites, or however you want to identify them, who suffer casualties. It's not the elites whose sons and daughters are dying in the many military expansionist operations. The elites do not have loved ones returning with horrifyingly traumatic injuries, or severe and crippling PTSD or mental health issues. So I'm merely suggesting that rather than be so quick to allow ourselves to be manipulated into yet another 2 minutes of media-driven, state-sponsored hate, let's take in the larger picture. Try to understand the end game here. Whether white, black, Arab, Hispanic, Asian, or Pacific Islander, what have you. Let's maybe put aside racial differences and divisive religious politics, all too often commonly exploited by them, and start caring about us. Let's look after one another.